All right, thanks so much for tuning back in for our very third and final guest, Shane. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure to be here again, Laura.
Burgundian coffee and waffles. Honestly, before we really get into everything, I'm just going to make a disclaimer because these waffles changed my life when I first tried them.
Thank
and I
you.
think that you
Same.
know that.
Yes.
I've expressed that to you
Yes.
abundantly. That these waffles are just unlike anything that I've ever had in a waffle, and they just are my ultimate favorite thing, I think, ever. I love them.
Thank you.
Love them.
Number one food item of 2017, right?
That's right.
We did it.
Right.
We did it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was my pick. I love it. But let's talk about Burgundian coffee and waffles. You have a great story about how you really came to make these glorious waffles.
Yeah.
So let me hear a little bit about yourself and how we got here.
Yeah, sure. So kind of how it was a way like many people. I sort of stumbled upon the business. I was in the Army in a previous life. I joined right after 9/11 while I was in college, and I finished out and found myself at a few different places, including a gig in France, right on the border with Belgium, because some people had to go to Iraq, and I, for some reason, got the pick of the draw and got to go to France.
Wow.
Yeah. So while I was there was this beautiful market, and I mean, it legitimately was out of a movie. So cafe tables, pedestrian. There were French people with the baguettes and their
like,
flowers and a bike. Yeah, it's like this is a movie. Realistic. There was an accordion guy playing in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Right at 3 blocks from our house, and so we went down there, and there was this old guy. He was up a yay high in his 70s. His name was Bernard, and him and his wife were making these waffles, and it was unlike any waffle I had ever had. And so I just went up and I ordered a waffle in my really terrible French, which is still didn't improve very much.
Just enough to order a waffle.
Just enough to order a waffle. That's the only thing that I need.
That's all you need.
Yeah. And I ordered it, and it was incredible. So we got it and sat down at the cafe table and let the scene. It was just this very emotional connection that even sometimes as I look back on it now, it really brings up this deep nostalgia for me.
Wow.
So fast forward to, I've always wanted to open a business, but I found myself in New England. I was stationed in Massachusetts. Got out of the Army. I worked at Colette Tours for a couple years. Went back to France, and it just, again, that culture just reminded me how much I love it, how much food plays a part of the culture.
Absolutely.
So as I was looking around at the landscape of Providence, at the landscape of the United States, but certainly New England, PV Donuts and the donut crazes had really just been taking off. The food truck craze is still going strong in the U.S.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. And so I said, what would be a great product that hasn't yet been known to the region, but that could sort of jump onto the donut craze and the cupcake craze and things that we've done. And so I said, well, how about the Liege waffle? Nobody's had this type of waffle. They've had the batter waffle, what we call a Belgian waffle. Yeah.
Because there is a big difference, and I've learned this from you.
Yes.
The difference between a Belgian style waffle, which you might find you've probably had a bunch of Belgian waffles, and a Liege waffle. And there is a big difference in taste and texture, which are really big key players in eating a waffle. So what is it about a Liege waffle that makes it so spectacular?
Yeah, well, other than the little pock marks, it's a completely different type of waffle.
Okay.
So you know how everything in Europe is named after the place that it comes from? So you have Champagne from Champagne, Bordeaux from Bordeaux. So Liege waffles are from the town of Liege, right? So it's on the eastern part of Belgium where the Battle of the Bulge happened. And it's not a batter waffle. It's not something that like we're used to, that we take out and we ladle in and it pours to every single nook and cranny. This is much more of a brioche style dough. So our tagline is that it's similar to if a brioche donut and a fried dough had a love child and pressed it in a waffle iron, that's what it would be. And what really makes these unique are these little white, we call them Belgian pearl sugars that I get imported from Belgium.
Okay, so
and
you
so
get them
whenever
directly from Belgium?
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So whenever they are put into the waffle dough and then the waffle cooks, they caramelize on the outside of it. So it's denser. It gives it that dense, that chewiness, that natural sweetness. And so you don't need syrup on it. You don't need
a thing on it.
You can eat it by itself. However, of course, we do a lot of crazy toppings on top.
So let's talk about that a little bit because you've collaborated with some, favorites around the city. You've done PVD Donuts, Fountain & Co. You know,
What about
I
bagel?
went in
Oh, yeah.
for the PVD donut. It was with Bucktown, and it was a donut with a waffle with fried chicken on top, and it was absolutely insane. I mean, the thing was like this big.
Yeah, and
just
paired with the
crazy.
Long Live Beer Works beer. I mean, it was,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
so I love seeing those relationships building, and like, you know, you see my favorite waffle paired with, like, you know, you can get all of your favorite things together wrapped up into one, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. But, you know, I think that you've come a long way, and you've been able to come from doing pop-ups here and there, so you're moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you've got going on, you know, right now.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, we're still doing a lot of pop-ups. We go to a lot of breweries. So just about every brewery in Rhode Island, people can come and find us. If you go to our Facebook events page, you can find us. We're still doing a lot of unique collaborations. We did something with Bayberry Beer Hall, Rogue Island, and PV Donuts on August 24th, which was National Waffle Day. So mark your calendars next year. And you know, that's an important part of what we do, is trying to find unique, exclusive events that we can do that you can't find anywhere else, because we want you to come and experience something that you're just not going to get it anywhere else. So as we start looking forward, what we've done recently is we actually bought a food truck. We bought a normal food truck. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got the wrap done, and the inside is almost done. And on that, we're going to have Liege waffles. We're going to have Borealis cold brew and nitro. We're going to be able to do fried chicken and waffles every single time. Our real, oh yes, oh yes.
Wow.
And something that not everybody knows yet, most people don't know yet.
So
we're
this is
actually,
like dropping some
I'm
secret
dropping,
knowledge.
yes.
Okay, so let's hear it.
So especially if you've been to Belgium, you've had what's called the Brussels waffle, which is the ancestor of what we call the Belgian waffle. So it's a batter base, but the way they do it over there, it's a rectangle, and it is light and crispy and airy, and it is absolutely delicious. And so we've decided to actually make Brussels waffles and Liege waffles on the truck at the same time. They are coexisting, just like they often do in Belgium. Exactly. Because whenever I went over to Belgium in 2017 to learn how to make these, they said, well, we want to make sure you know how to make the Brussels waffle. I said, no, I don't. I've got the Liege. What do I need the Brussels waffles? And then I made it, and I said,
like, wow,
okay, I need to make these as well.
Of course.
You know, I've sort of been bad-mouthing the batter waffle, but it's fantastic. So it's something that if these are too heavy sometimes for people, if that's what you find, these waffles are going to blow your, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we have the truck, right?
Yes.
And then for those that don't know, in April, we're going to be launching what we've been talking about for a long time. I cannot wait. Much anticipated is our British double-decker bus cafe.
Oh my gosh, I can just picture you behind the wheel, driving through downtown Providence in a giant double-decker British-style bus, candy apple red, and slinging waffles left and right.
Oh yes.
It's going to be just craziness.
Oh yes.
I cannot wait for this.
And we'll have an espresso machine on there, and what's really cool is we'll have kind of a back-rounded area where we will have 4 taps, and so we actually are also going to have cold brew, nitro cold brew, kombucha, and then a rotating 4th tap.
Awesome.
So people can we'll have an espresso machine, and it's just, I cannot wait for this. And it's taken a while, Laura.
You know what?
It's taken a minute to get going.
A little while, we can all be patient, because the end product is going to be just like incredible.
Yes.
Show-stopping.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Now you can actually go and sit down. You're going to have tables, booths, chairs on the bus. So you can go right on and sit down and, you know, post up, have your waffle, have your coffee.
It'll be fully enclosed on the top too. So it will operate year round. So you will be able to, we've resealed all the windows so it's not going to leak. It's going to be heated and air conditioned depending on the season. So you can come in, sit down, and hang out any time of year, get a cup of coffee. We'll have the original bus seats that will be turned towards each other at a table, and then on the opposite side we'll have a long bar stool, or bar stools with a bar bench, and it's going to be incredible. We can't wait for this bus to be kind of a new iconic thing in Providence.
Absolutely.
So
people, I think, will seek it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, our real goal is to somehow get on a Frog and Toad sticker, because I think that's when you know you've made it, is when you've made it on some.
And you see a product and you're like,
yes,
this is it.
That's
I'm
it.
done. I can retire because
Exactly.
I've officially made it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that what's great about the Liege waffle is you brought it to Providence. It made its statement. You know, there was nothing else like this here. So I think that people were really mind blown by that. Now you're going to be bringing them on a red bus, which is also something that Providence has never seen. We've all seen the food trucks and we love them, and we're happy that you have a food truck.
Yes.
But a bus is like a whole, like another
For
level
sure.
that we're just so excited that it's in Providence and we have it here and people will be coming to us for this bus. It's going to be an experience and a half.
Yeah, that's
really
kind of
so
what
exciting.
we're always looking for is what are people doing, and yet what can we as the Burgundian add to that? What can we do to sort of evolve to that next level waffles, next level food truck? That's always what we're looking at, is really trying to keep in tune and bring in influences from Europe, influences from other parts of the country, and kind of bring them to Rhode Island to continue to help the state and the city become the world-class food destination that it already is.
Absolutely, I can't agree more.
Yeah.
Now, before I forget, Burgundian. People are sometimes, they're like, Burgundian, what is that? I've never heard, is that a name? Is that some
that your
person?
last name?
Shane Burgundian, you know, I've heard of him, So can you tell me a Burgundian?
Yes.
What is it?
So a Burgundian, so what we call it, the actual definition you'll see in our truck, on our bus, is a Burgundian is someone who loves food and drink in both quality and quantity, shared amongst friends. So it's a very communal way to interact with food and drink, and especially for you history buffs out there, I was about to say nerds, but I don't want to get there, which is me. This term actually goes back to the 14th century. So if you look at the territories of what is now Belgium and northern France, where I lived, the Burgundians, so from the region of Burgundy in France, Dukes of Burgundy, and Mary of Burgundy, the Duchess of Burgundy, they reigned over those territories. And so Bruges was the main port. The 100 Years' War was going on, and so there's a lot of money and power and, of course, frivolity and eating and drinking, and it's this name that from that time has evolved to where even now Belgians use this term of je suis un Burgundien. You know, I'm a Burgundian, and I love food and drink. I love to pause life, what I'm doing, and sit down and interact with family, with community, with people over food and drink. And to me, it's the most evolved word. It's more evolved than foodie. It's more evolved than gourmand. It takes what we love and it makes a social aspect to it, a communal aspect to it. And so I fell in love. 2009, I first read about it and found out about it. And scribbled it on a little notebook in Afghanistan and said, someday I'm going to use this word. And here we are.
Yes, and I love your mantra, we are Burgundians.
Yes.
It really is, you know, there it is.
Yeah,
we
the
are
hashtag,
Burgundians, hashtag we are Burgundians. So if you search it on Instagram, you're going to see these beautiful waffles and it's going to come up, you're going to click, and you're going to know that, you know, as Providence is this beautiful city that we are, we love the whole community aspect and coming together as a city, as a state, and we can come together over these incredible waffles, and it's just the best.
It's the best. I love it. I love it. We've met so many amazing people through this, and again, it's, even though this is our canvas for what we do, there's so many toppings and things that we do. Just like the name Burgundian, it's a way to have a further communal, you know, conversation and aspect with other businesses, with other people. It's not just about the waffles. It's about this community of food lovers, of drink lovers, of other businesses, small businesses that are trying to make something unique and trying to make this the city that it is and continues to be. So that's what it's really about. And we're just, for me, I'm so honored to be part of it.
Yeah, of course. And that you've brought it here, we're just so thankful.
Yes. It's great. It's great to be here and be part of this. And I can't wait to see all the things that we have next. My mind's always going about, all right, what is the Burgundian going to get into next?
Yeah, we can't wait. Speaking of which, of what you're going to get into next, where can we find you on social media so that people can stay up to date on the food truck, where it's going to be, what breweries you're at, and, you know, the much anticipated bus? We want to know what's going on. We want to be following your every move.
Excellent.
Where can we find you?
Well, we are very active on the socials.
Okay.
I struggle with Twitter, but but on Instagram we're very, very active. We post once a week on Instagram. So if you go to Burgundian Coffee Waffles, you'll see everything that we're doing. There will be a weekly post, usually on Wednesday or Thursday, about where we're going to be. And then if you go to our Facebook page, don't worry, you do not need an account to go to our Facebook page. That's always a concern. You don't have to have it. Just type in the Burgundian Coffee and Waffles on Facebook and go to our events section. We post very religiously on all of our events, so you can see where we're going to be the next few months, but we always put it out. And if you want, email us, message us, even if it's right there on our page, right next to the message button that you ask where we're going to be, we will gladly answer, because we want you to experience the love of the Liege.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I could recommend anything, I would say please try these waffles because they're just absolutely to die for.
Yeah, and what's been your favorite one, Laura?
My favorite one, I think, has got to be the one with bananas.
Okay, with the caramel, cinnamon, sugar, salted caramel, whipped cream. Yeah, so that's the banana churro supreme. One of our
supreme sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And it really is.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend trying them. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, on Facebook, so you can always stay up to date on what they're doing because really they truly are always doing something, you know, whipping out crazy waffles with fried chicken on them. You never know what you're going to make.
Yes,
there's always something going on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We like to be mad scientists in the kitchen because this is our canvas, and I really think just about anything can go with these waffles.
Yes. Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned on what Shane and Burgundian Coffee and Waffles are doing. But thank you all so much for tuning in today and watching all of our sweet treats that we had in store. But thank you so much from the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center here at GoLocal Prov. Again, my name is Laura Afonso. Please tune in next week, and thank you so much.